Transcripts and recordings of the podcast may not be used for any purpose without the direct written permission of the podcast owner. Welcome to LITE It Up, a podcast about resilient women balancing motherhood, their careers, personal lives, and all of the challenges that come along with being a superwoman. Each week, you'll be motivated to take action, to lead, inspire, transform, and empower. Now, here's your host, Dr. Aginah Musherah. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Season 8 of LITE It Up. I am your host, Dr. Aginah Musherah. I am so excited to be back on the microphone, particularly because LITE It Up has reached another milestone. Not only is this the start of Season 8, but this is my 150th episode of LITE It Up. Now, I can't begin to explain how excited I am to have reached this point. It's been 4 years, 4 amazing years of bringing content to your electronic devices by way of all of the streaming platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, and Facebook. The experience, it's been fulfilling. I've been able to share my gift of gab and my knack for connecting people to provide you with quality content week after week. Now, this journey, I will tell you, has caused me to take a few detours along the way, but I can honestly say that I've learned a great deal about myself and others over the course of these 4 years because I've learned to pivot when necessary. There's just so much I want to share with you about what to expect this season and all of the exciting things that have already occurred, but I don't really know if I have enough time, and honestly, I don't know where to begin because there's a lot that's happening. So there are some things that I will share over the course of Season 8. Hope to share some exciting things later on, probably in the next couple of weeks. But as I prepared for today's episode, I couldn't help but to, begin thinking about the significance of Season 8 and all that the number 8 represents. If you're into numerology or anything of that nature, then you probably already know that the number 8 represents justice, leadership, prosperity, and balance. And the power and strength associated with number 8, it's said to be feminine energy, which can give you the strength to achieve your life's goals. The very symbol of the number 8, which I've talked about this before on other episodes of Light It Up, with it being the infinity symbol, it's also something, that I don't take lightly. And so I envision that this season of Light It Up will be one that will provide an abundance of information that will help others in various ways. And I'm here for it. And of course, with this being a new year, 2024, it's time for new beginnings. It's a reminder to stay grounded and balanced while achieving various levels of success within our lives. Even with new beginnings and plans for the future, we have to be mindful and recognize that we may face setbacks or challenges along the way. Just last week, I experienced a few setbacks of my own after my plans didn't turn out as I had hoped. Um, just to give you a little bit of insight, sometimes I share those personal stories about things that transpire within my own family. But I made plans to have my son and daughter's car that they share transported from Illinois to North Carolina. Now, the car was picked up from our home one day before we were actually scheduled to fly out to North Carolina. I wasn't really prepared for the hiccups that would occur along the way. Uh, Prior to transporting the car, we had an unexpected yet significant amount of repairs done to the car. Uh, but nevertheless, the car was supposed to arrive in North Carolina on a Saturday evening. We were scheduled to arrive Saturday morning. We were flying in, and I was mentally prepared for the car to really arrive by Monday, because I know things happen. It was probably unreasonable to expect for the car to arrive on a Saturday, but Monday was my limit. Unfortunately, the car didn't arrive on Monday. And when I called Central Dispatch, I later learned that while I had arranged for the company's safe side to transport my vehicle, I later learned that a company called Megaload was responsible for transporting my vehicle. And let me just say, this is my first time ever transporting a car. So my assumption was that I'm dealing with one company. I did not realize that they contract out or subcontract the business out to another company to actually transport the car. Lesson learned. Long story short, I learned that the driver from Megaload, who was responsible for transporting my children's car, apparently experienced some challenges with the sensors on the truck and had to get them repaired. Okay, no problem. The information was presented as if the driver was already en route to North Carolina and, experienced the challenges along the way. That was the furthest thing from the truth of what occurred and what had transpired. Each day, I was told, we're hopeful your vehicle will arrive on Monday evening. We're hopeful your vehicle will arrive on Tuesday, then Wednesday. At that point, enough was enough. And I was finally told that the driver was at the Illinois-Indiana border. So, in other words, the driver never left with my children's car, never left the state of Illinois. And here I am in North Carolina. Now, I did get away from that brutal cold that everyone else experienced, although North Carolina was a little chilly as well, but it was nothing like being here in Chicago experiencing the cold that my family and friends had to deal with. But the entire experience really was a test of my patience. And you all know that my patience is something that is constantly a work in progress for me. But it was also a reminder and understanding that I cannot control everything. Now, you all know that as a Virgo, that was a hard pill for me to swallow. But somehow I managed to accept the fact that this situation was beyond my control. The one thing I was able to control was my response to the situation. Um, and I became very clear that it was important to make the most of the time that I had in North Carolina. Um, I, for one, had been yearning for a getaway to be able to decompress and not focus on the stress of work and other life occurrences. And while I would have preferred to be on a beach, because you all know that I love to travel to warm climates, let's just say that God gave me exactly what I needed. And that was the time to unwind and be still, and be just really be reflective. And that's what I needed. So it didn't matter that I wasn't on a beach, which is what I would have preferred, but I was in another state that has really grown on me over the last couple of years, and I made the best of my time there. And so while that time to unwind and be still has come and gone, I am prepared to deal with some of the various surprises that may come my way now. It's definitely back to reality with balancing motherhood. So, parenting my 16, soon to be 17-year-old daughter here, um, navigating parenting or parenthood of two young adults who are away at school. And then there's work, and then there's that personal life. So, all of the things that I've talked about being the purpose of starting this podcast, Light It Up, helping women deal with the balancing act of being a mom, their personal lives and their professional lives. I'm here for it. But I am definitely going to be very intentional about not returning to the daily hamster wheel of life that all of us, I think, experience in some shape or form. I will remember to remain grounded and exercise balance in all of the various commitments that I take on, but to continue to do everything with the spirit of excellence. And that means that I must be willing to set healthy boundaries in order to continue to grow. And one thing is for sure, I will continue to ask God to grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And so, as I conclude this very brief but important episode 824, um, is a reminder that this is my Kobe year. Kobe took the concepts of planning, discipline, commitment, consistency, dedication, high standards, and vision and turned them into reality. Kobe set his sights on an ambitious goal and prepared to achieve them in every way possible, which resulted in him becoming one of the greatest basketball players of all time. I, like Kobe, am driven, disciplined, committed, and consistent. So as 2024 gets underway, I have already set my sights on accomplishing several goals, but also focused on being grounded and balanced. So I'd love to hear how you plan to make this your Kobe year. Share some of your plans with me here in the comments or send me a message. I'd love to hear. And I'd love for you to take this journey with me on season 8 of Light It Up podcast. I hope that you are excited about this season just as I am. So until next time, remember to continue to light it up and shine bright like a diamond. Thanks for joining me this week on Light It Up. Make sure you visit my website at www.lightituppodcast.com or www.aginahmuhammad.com. You can also find me on social media using the handle at Light It Up Podcast. If you like what you've heard, please be sure to hit the subscribe button so you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, I'd appreciate a rating on iTunes, or you can simply tell a friend about the show. Be sure to tune in every Tuesday for a new episode. Until next time, light it up and shine bright like a diamond.